Hey, good morning. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Double. We're starting a new parak today. Shabbos parak Yudalid. There's 24 prakim. We're up to parak 14. I find that in Masechah Shabbos the prakim are a lot shorter than they are in Zerayim, where there's no Gemara. Maybe that's why they're shorter, because they have a lot of Gemara, a long Gemara. Mishnah Aleph, parak called Shmona Shratzim. Shmona Shratzim Hamurim Torah. There's 7 Shratzim, disgusting creatures that really crawl on the ground, like mice and porcupines and rabbits, certain types of rabbits and things like that. Creepy crawling things, if you have rats or mice in your house, it's a kind of disgusting thing. Hatzadan v'achol behen chayev. You trap them on Shabbos, or achol behen, literally you hit them or you kill them, you're chayev a malacha on Shabbos, because extermination of these things, although these things are annoying and kind of disgusting to have mice running around your house. I know personally, because a month or two ago we had a couple of rats actually running around our house, and we hired someone to trap the rat. He found out there were many holes they had bored in the kitchen. We had to pay him almost $1,000, actually $1,000, 33,500 shekel, to close up all the holes. There's also a downstairs apartment that also had the holes in it, infested. Like most places. Mishpacha magazine talks about New York being infested with mice. Telstone here is infested with rats and mice. So it's a big problem, and I paid a lot of money for that. But the problem was he closed up the holes, and we found out there was still one running around the house. And rats are very hard to catch. If you didn't know that, Google it. I'm telling you, there was a story on the airliner that had a rat on the plane. They tried catching it for 6 months. They're so smart, these rats. You can put any trap. We hired a professional to capture the rat. He put out traps numerous times, putting different things in the trap. We found out the rat was right next to the trap. To eat pajamas. It was eating pajamas of my kids. It was eating the carpet and the floor. But it would not go into the trap. They're so smart. The only way we got it out, I was smarter than the guy, the professional. I'm like, we're going after, we're trying to trap with everything. He was coming 4 or 5 times trying to trap it. He couldn't do it. I said one night, I'm just like, I knew it was my kid. First of all, it was my bedroom for a couple of nights. And then we realized it moved to my kid's room. So this is kind of crazy. And I'm not going to keep my kids with a rat, because it was literally eating through kids' clothes. Mice don't do that. So I took the kids I think it was Sukkot. It happened to me on Sukkot, and the kids actually slept in my room. 4 little kids in my room with me and my wife. It was kind of crazy for all of Sukkot. It's harder than sleeping in the sukkah. The only way we got rid of it, one night I'm just like, let's just open the window. I didn't say let, I just did it. I opened the window in my kids' room a little bit so the rat can get out. And you know what? It left that night. I've heard something in the middle of the night. It just went out the window itself. It didn't want to be killed, so it just jumped out the window. I don't know if it could survive jumping out the window, but maybe crawl down the wall. I don't know if they could do that. But that's the way to do it. Just let it out. They want to get out, And we looked around the room. We realized that it had gone. It wasn't, leaving droppings anymore. So thanks for listening to my little story over here. But from my experience, I can tell you it's hard to trap them. But with trapping them, right, even though it's terrible to live with a mice or a rat, they're usually not dangerous, not going to bite you. So it's not terribly disgusting. So if you trap it, usually you hire a professional to do it. It's a commercial project to trap it or to kill them. And I mentioned commercial projects are a problem to do on Shabbos. Sharshkatzim or amasim, any other creepy crawling like cockroaches, which are much more disgusting, I believe, than rats if you see them crawling around. Hachel vehen pater. That's why the malacha. If you kill them, you're pater. The reason being, I'll explain this more in Iyam Mitziyim, but hachel vehen pater, the reason, because they're so disgusting, the Torah allows you, it's normal, that's a personal reason you're killing. You're not doing it in a commercial process over there. It's not hard to do that, right? Because you just have to step on them, so therefore you're pater. Hasadan l'sorech chayev shelo l'sorech pater. If you trap it l'sorech, meaning you trap them, that's not the way to get rid of termites or something like that. Trap them. That's not a normal way of doing it. It's a commercial project. It's probably much more complicated. Chayev shelo l'sorech pater. If you do it shelo l'sorech, you just want to have a pet lizard or something like that. A lizard actually is one of the Shemona Shotzim, but if you want to have a pet cockroach, I don't know, or a pet salamander, I don't know, so Shalot Tzarech Potter, because again, that's for personal reasons. You want to have a pet, so that's not a commercial process. Chayav Ov Shebeshuso Asadan Potter Rachol Ben Chayav. If you have a wild animal or a wild bird running around in your property, I'm in your house, so Asadan Potter, if you trap it, right, you're potter, because that's for personal reason. You don't want a wild animal running around your house or your yard. If you kill it, right, that's hiring a professional exterminator to kill it, and that would be a professional way of just getting rid of it, and that is a problem on Shabbos. Beis ein osin hilmi b'Shabbos. You don't make salt water. We're talking about making a large amount of salt water on Shabbos to pickle something. But to make a small amount of salt water. To dip your bread in. I don't know if it necessarily means salt water. I would say maybe a type of dip. People have dips on Shabbos. You put water and salt in them to dip your bread in. Or no tafshel. You take a little small amount of salt and water to put in your pot of food. He says, whether it's smaller or a lot, if you're making salt water, right, technically salt water could be used for pickling, which is a professional way of manufacturing food, which is a business-like way, which is also on Shabbos. Rabbi says, what's the only way you can do it to make salt water? It's mutter. You have to incorporate oil. When you incorporate oil in your dip, right? You make a dip. Let's say make trina, hummus, or something like that. So it's not just salt and water, but oil. Oil is a key component because oil makes it tasty. It makes it a personal enjoyment type of thing. And anything doing for personal enjoyment is not under the malacha. The malacha here doing is ma'abed, which is basically ma'abed is to tan leather. Included in that is to make brine that's going to pickle something. It's going to keep it longer. It's going to preserve or give tastes and preserve, right? Salt water helps preserve different vegetables and different meats. So preservation is under the malach ma'abed, but if you're putting oil in there for a dip, you're eating on Shabbos, that's okay because it's personal enjoyment. It's not a commercial activity. Hope you enjoyed today's share. Stay tuned for Ian Mitzio when we discuss what I've been talking about in further depth. I mean, I really gave you a lot of Ian Mitzio in this share, but we'll talk more Ian Mitzio coming up next.